Hey y'all, and welcome to Politbrawl. My name is Brian, and this is a classic moment for Donald Trump, who even gets a bit emotional here when he's honoring these kids who have survived their terrible fights with cancer and leukemia. Let's dive in.
My name is Joshua Armstrong. I'm from West Virginia, and I'm the father of this amazingly brave and resilient little 6-year-old, Laurel. Laurel was diagnosed with leukemia when she was 2 years old, just before her 3rd birthday. And we went on to watch as she spent months in the hospital fighting for her life, as she received blood transfusions and platelet transfusions, as she fought off one potentially fatal infection after another. We watched as her body swelled and became painful from steroids, and then as it became frail and weak from chemotherapy. And we watched and we wondered why there aren't better treatments available, and we wondered what might happen if she doesn't get the drugs she needs. And we wondered, why isn't anybody doing more? And on behalf of myself and all the parents that have watched and wondered, we'd like to say that what you're doing today gives parents like me and children like Laurel the one thing that we most desperately need, and that's hope.
And Laurel's doing well.
And Laurel is, I'm happy to say Laurel's in remission today.
That's good. She looks so beautiful.
Thank you. She is
You
beautiful.
feeling good, Laurel?
That's for you, Laurel. That's for you.
She looks so great.
Because of this bill, doctors are going to be able to get better treatments faster to patients like Laurel.
Big
And
difference.
because of you making children like her real children, not cases or statistics, but children like Laurel and all of these children here today, we have that hope, and we are so proud that you're standing with children with cancer and making it a national priority.
It's very nice.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We're with you all the way. How about you? Back there, Dad?
Actually, I'd like my daughter to speak. We let
Oh,
her
I like
speak.
that much
Caroline
better.
would like to speak. She's
That's
lost
very
her
good. I'd like you to speak.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Hendricks. When I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a pediatric bone cancer. 11 years later, I'm now 16 years old, and I'm doing great. What you're doing today, Mr. President, means that kids like me will get better options and so much more hope for the future. This will help doctors use technology to find cures faster, match patients to trials more quickly, and give our families more control over our health. For kids, every day counts. This order shows that our lives matter enough to be first in line for innovation. On behalf of children and young adults with cancer, those still fighting and those in remission like me, and families who wish that they had more time together, thank you for making us a national priority. Mr. President, because of actions like this, kids like me have the chance to grow up, to chase our dreams, and to live full lives. And that is the greatest gift anyone could ever give.
Wow. That was so good. Your father could not have done that like you. You did us a big service, Father.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Where did you learn how to speak like that?
I've done lots of speeches for childhood cancer over the last few years, and I'm also in a theater program, so that
That's
helps a
great.
lot.
Well, good. That's a great job. Would anybody like to say something? Would anybody? Would you like to say something, honey?
Yes, I'm Iloni Myers and I'm 9 years old, and I had a blood cancer called leukemia when I was only 2 years old. I had to get treated at 7 different hospitals across this country, and I had to have 2 bone marrow transplants, one for my dad and one for my mom. And I had to spend many days and the nights in the hospital getting pokies and yucky medicine. And me and my parents were very worried, and I had to go through those 7 different hospitals to find the best treatment that can make me better. And thank you, Mr. President, for making everything happen today. So kids like me and Laura, we can still be living today and speaking.
All right. They're doing better than any of us have done. We're doing well. We're not doing so well today. They're doing so good. That was fantastic. Thank you. And you feeling good now?
Yes.
Are you all better? You're pretty close, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you're going to do good. Anybody like to say something? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I've had a brain tumor since I was 4 months. Now I'm off all medicines. I'm a cancer
Wow.
survivor. I've had a brain tumor since I was 4 months, and I'm doing great. I'm 15 now, and I'm going to 10th
And you're going to
grade.
be a football player, offensive lineman.
even in the midst of a government shutdown, you need stories like these. And this one's actually kind of unique because you'd think that, oh, well, we would have given these cute kids this ability earlier, but the reality is the technology didn't exist yet. What's going on here is Trump has signed an executive order basically allowing artificial intelligence to help diagnose kids, particularly with these really rough diseases. And the cool thing is, I think these kids have been able to survive without the use of artificial intelligence, but it's good that we're getting that extra ability in there to see if we're able to fill in anything that we might have missed. So this is a wonderful little moment, but the show stealers are the kids. Now, when you're in that situation and you've been receiving all this extra attention because we want to make these kids feel special. We don't know if it's the last time we'll ever meet with them or play with them or see them smile ever again. And if you have kids, you know what I mean. If you're 64 years or older, you probably want to listen to this one. The Department of Justice just went after 3 of the biggest Medicare providers, all for claiming that they were unbiased, while allegedly steering seniors into plans that provided them the best kickbacks. This just goes to show you can't trust any old Medicare provider to have your back. But navigating Medicare alone, that can be a total nightmare. That's why I want you to know about Chapter. They flip the script on the system by comparing every Medicare plan, not just the ones that give them the highest kickbacks. That's how they help people save, on average, $1,100 per year. If your plan's already the right fit, they'll tell you. And if there's a better plan out there, they'll help you switch. So if you're ready to fight against a rigged system, call Chapter today and get advice from people in your corner. But each of these kids don't just tell a great story. They give a great speech, and they're used to that extra attention. The 16-year-old, she gave a fantastic little explanation of her situation. That's something that you learn through constant training, and that's something she seemed to care about, and she's going to be well equipped to do that for the rest of her life. The little 9-year-old, I saw a couple of other photo ops. I don't think she was reading from a script. She had a 9-year-old speech ready, talked like a 9-year-old, but articulated at much higher levels. Whoever is teaching these kids, thank you. And by the way, that 9-year-old, that is exactly how a 9-year-old would talk. But that also goes to show that Trump is looking to compliment people, particularly extraordinary children like these, who have gone through a major surgery. And so here's what's really going on. I briefly mentioned it, but there's slightly more to the story. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Tuesday to bolster the use of artificial intelligence and provide an additional $50 million in research grants aimed at finding cures for childhood cancers, according to a White House official. So that's an extra $50 million and the official usage of artificial intelligence. Now, we've actually had these artificial intelligences for a while. As a matter of fact, we've probably had them since the early 2000s, probably used for military purposes. In fact, there was a movie back in 2010, I believe. I forgot the name of it, but I was just recently reminded of it. Roaring Eagle or Soaring Eagle, something like that. Shia LaBeouf is fighting against this artificial intelligence who wants to take down the government because the government wasn't doing what the artificial intelligence was recommending. And so he manages to find a way to stop it. So we've always had this very weird relationship with these technologies, and that's why our military usually has them first before they go into places like healthcare. So that means that they've gotten more of a stamp of approval, that the technology has been proven. We are actually able to use it properly. This gives me a lot of extra hope, but it also gives me a feeling of some slight caution. We do have to be careful about how these things are curated, how these algorithms work. We've seen artificial intelligence already start to have major problems. But when it's going into the medical field, it'll have a completely different modus operandi, and I have more trust towards it, particularly because it has Trump's stamp of approval here, basically saying, yes, I've seen the evidence. I've worked with Elon Musk and these guys all out in Silicon Valley, and they're positive that they've got something that finally works, that won't be malicious, and will help people with cancers, with brain tumors, and leukemia. This is a good thing. And things look kind of bleak right now. As far as government shutdowns go, this one feels like the worst. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because occasionally we need to shout out the moments where our humanity does shine through. We need to shout out the moments where we are indeed helping the American people, where we are indeed watching the victories of children who have beaten these terrible diseases. And now, they'll have a memory of a lifetime. And then they're going to look back and realize, much later on in life, they weren't brought on because they're children who have done something extraordinary. They are children who are extraordinary. We've seen it by their little speeches, from a 9-year-old to a 15-year-old with a brain tumor to a 16-year-old who has completely defeated her illness. And they'll realize one day that they weren't just extraordinary for doing one thing. They just happen to be extraordinary people all around. And that's why we need to show this more often. And that's why we do what we do here at Politibrawl. My name is Brian. Hope to catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, y'all have a good one.